Natasha. Thanks everyone for coming. My name is Paulius Staniunas, that's how you pronounce my last name, Staniunas. I come from Lithuania, a small country in Eastern Europe. And what I want to talk to you today about is not my party photography, is not how I take photos, is the social project I started doing with my storytelling and photography skills. And the project is called SameSame, as you see here in the photo. So let's begin. This girl, her name is Elizabeth. She is half Scottish and half Malaysian Chinese. She lives in Penang with her family. Her best friend is an Indian girl who also happens to be her neighbor. So when I was talking to her mom told me, oh, you know, Elizabeth doesn't see the race. She thinks that the whole world, all the people in the world are Indians because her best friend is Indian, and only those who are of Caucasian race are Scottish. So the world has only two races for her, Scottish and Indians. That's how she sees the world. This is Chow Yin and Ricky. Ricky comes from India. And Chow Yin comes from Penang, Malaysia. When I was interviewing them and asked them, is there any fun story that happened to you because you both come from different cultures? Ricky told me, you know, when I come back home from work and Chow Yin is already at home and she wants to cook a dinner, she makes curry all the time. And I come back home and I'm like, not curry, not again. I grew up eating curry all my life. And she's like, what's wrong with curry? I love curry. And apparently Ricky hates curry. She loves curry. So here you go. The beauty of being in a diverse relationship. So what I want to talk to you today about is a race and love. And how these two things come together in the project that I call SameSame. So let's start from race. When I was preparing a presentation, I was thinking like, okay, I talk a lot about the human race and what is the race, so I will maybe support it with a scientific term. And I went on Wikipedia and I found this. Well, basically what it says, race as a social construct is a group of people who share similar and distinct physical characteristics. So I thought to myself, okay, it's a social construct. That doesn't sound very legit. It's just something that we agreed upon or what? Then I googled the term social construct and I found this. It's basically a theory of knowledge in sociology and science that examines the development of jointly constructed understandings, blah, 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 blah. And then it says shared assumptions about reality. So what does it mean that the term race is just some made-up thing that didn't exist before? And I started reading about the history of the word race, and apparently the word race came to being in the 17th century, and it was used to distinguish people who speak different languages. So if one speaks English and another one speaks Russian and the third one speaks Chinese, they would call them different races. But it wasn't used to describe people by appearance. It came to being describing people by how they look like only in 19th century. And what I would like to believe in my life and in my world, I would like to be an Elizabeth, like the girl I just showed you before, who doesn't see the race and is beautifully blind towards all of us and loves everyone equally. So I'd like to show you this little short movie that I found the other day.
How do you spell dinosaur?
Okay, D-I-N-O-S-A-R-U. Dinosaur.
Dinosaur. Okay, Sharon,
Okay.
how do you spell dinosaur?
D-I-N-O-S-O-R-E.
Dinosaur. Okay, who's your best friend, Sharon? Okay, if he's your best friend, what is his race?
Race. Race tapi Rizka. Race. Aku tidak pasti race. Race is Rizka. Race.
So yeah. So before we dive deeper into the project, I would like to give you some background how I came up to be fascinated about this topic of race and love, to give you an understanding where do I come from, where I start my journey, and how I developed through it, so it will be clear for you. I was born in Lithuania, And this was the view through my window during the winter. And it's not very colorful, a bit grayish. The country I live in, 99.9% are Caucasians. They speak the same language. They eat more or less the same food. They have the same religion. So it's just one truth that you live and embrace through your whole life. And I was thinking, okay, so this is my reality, this is cool, that's what I believe in. And then I was lucky to get a scholarship and move to Asia. And that's how my view through the window changed. All of a sudden I started seeing colors, I started seeing different people, I started traveling, I started seeing many, many beautiful, different religions, different languages. I realized that people celebrate New Year not only on December 31st, but also on other dates that you can celebrate. By living in Indonesia, I celebrated 5 New Years in 1 year. And the more I traveled, the more I started questioning my identity, who I am, what makes me me. Is it the passport that I have? Makes me who I am? But what about my friend? Why, when I go through the customs while traveling somewhere, and my friend is from another country, and let's say I'm being let in without any question, and my friend who looks exactly like me, speaks exactly like me, is not let in because just the book he has in his hand tells a name of a different country. Why we are being put in these boxes all the time? Why one culture dominates other culture? Why we think that one language is better than another? Why we think that one reality that we live is the only reality and it can't be any different? And by thinking a lot about this, I came to this realization, which was one of the biggest ones, that the truth that I lived in 10 years ago is not the truth I live in today. Because through all these travels, through all this gathering of the knowledge, through all these stories that people told me, I understood that there is no one truth. And to explain it clearly, I stole this image from Google. And in the middle part, I would call it the knowledge. Knowledge enables you to see different truths, no matter where you are. Enabling to see different truths makes you more tolerant, makes you more appreciative of your environment, makes you to understand the world from different perspectives and be less judgmental. That was very grateful for, and that's how my journey went on. So then I arrived to Malaysia, a beautiful country of amazing people, good food, and incredibly humid weather. So I really loved the people in here. I really loved the diversity and vibrancy here. And I really enjoyed being among Malaysians all the time until one day I came up to this document I had to fill in. And I saw this and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. So it's not enough to be Malaysian. You also have to be like of a certain box that you have to tick in. So why we don't have a box like, okay, so if I'm Chinese, I like long black and I have 2 hands, okay? And then if I'm Malay, I like flat white coffee and I have 2 legs as well. So why do we separate people in these boxes? You know, I started questioning this because when I went out and I met people, I saw a totally different image. I saw everyone being together, partying together, celebrating together, enjoying their life together, the beautiful diversity everywhere I went to. I took these photos during my nightlife photography in Kuala Lumpur, and I thought, you know, all the people, all the cultures are so lucky to live here shoulder to shoulder, to share these different truths and enabling each other to see different realities and living shoulder to shoulder to each other, to have these open houses during the Raya, during Diwali, during Chinese New Year, you know, to come and experience a different culture, right, next in your neighborhood. You know, you don't need to travel like I did tens of thousands of kilometers to another side of the world to realize this. You just need to go around the corner and visit your Indian friend, visit your Chinese or Malay friend. And I thought it's so damn beautiful, you know, when we care about each other, even though we're different, then we do care about our environment as a whole. When we separate each other and put ourselves in the boxes, we start to take care less of our surrounding and we focus on ourselves, which means we close ourselves. And when we become reserved and afraid of everything, we are afraid of different truths that surround us. So I was thinking, why can't we just have like one box that we all can tick in Malaysia? And this leads us to the second part of the talk, love. And I realized that, okay, I can stay at home and be frustrated about this inequality and equality I see around myself and just be grumpy, or I can do something about it. And that's where my skills of photography and storytelling came into handy. I started the project, and before I will go into my project, I want to show another short, cute movie about Malaysian love.
My name is Umi Kazrina. I like her.
Why do you like her?
She wears earrings, she ties her ponytail. She's pretty.
What do you wish you could say to her?
Do you want to come on a date to a romantic dinner?
And does she know you like her?
No, I keep it a secret. I don't want the whole world to know. Because everybody will laugh at me.
Why should they laugh at you?
Huh?
Why should they laugh at you?
She doesn't like me.
She doesn't like you?
My name is Umi Kazrina.
Who's your best friend? Hanumbe? Do you like him? Do you have a boyfriend? Who's your boyfriend?
And that's how SameSame was born. SameSame is a photography and storytelling project that celebrates diversity in a relationship, in the families, and in individuals. What I do, I take photos of 3 types of, let's say, relationships or different people who give me stories. So first type is a mixed race kids. I photograph people who come from the mixed heritage, so like Elizabeth herself, who is half Scottish, half Malaysian. I take a photo of them, I interview them, and I put their stories on the internet for others to read and not to feel so lonely. Because, for example, one of the girls I interviewed in Penang told me the story. She's half Irish, half Malaysian, and her passport is British. She grew up all her life in Malaysia. Only university time she went abroad, but her passport is still British. So each time she comes back to Malaysia, she's right now I think 22 years old, she's being asked at customs. First of all, she has to go through the foreigners lane, and then she's asked, what's the purpose of your visit? Even though she comes back at home. So here we go, the question of identity. What makes me me is that the passport is who I am. The second type of people I interview are the couples. Like this couple over here. The girl here is Chindian and the guy is Malay. And I try to bring up the stories in their relationship. What do they have to go through? Because they are of different heritage and different cultural backgrounds. And there are many fun stories like Chinese liking curry more than Indian. And there are sad stories how the parents of both object just because they come from different religious backgrounds. And how do people deal about it? And the third type of the people I photograph are families. The families are the most beautiful ones because they already completed the circle of this relationship, and they already have children, and they can share how was it like to go through all of this and what is it like for their children to grow up here. So now I would like to share some short, brief stories of the people I photographed. This is Anna and Eric. Anna comes from Malaysia, Eric comes from Germany. And when I asked them, so was there anything extraordinary in your relationship that happened due to come from different cultures? And she said, oh, I think it's because of the language barrier. when we're eating together with my family, I tell Eric, spoon, when I want him to give me a spoon. And Eric is like, why you have to be so rude? And she's like, what do you mean so rude? I just asked for the spoon. And he's like, can't you just say please? And she's like, what do you mean? In my culture, when I respect and love someone, I shorten my words. So I say spoon, instead of, would you please pass me the spoon? And he's like, no, but that's very rude. You know, and this beauty of miscommunication, and I'm happy they sorted it out, makes me happy and makes me laugh. And now they are happily married together. This is Irina. She's Malay, Japanese, and Siamese mix of all. And the guy is called Benjamin. Now his name is Benjamin bin Abdullah. They got married together. He is from United States and he converted to a different religion because of love. When I asked him the question, what's the biggest thing he has done for you? She said he has converted to different religion because of me. So I said, okay, so how is it like? And she's like, you know, my mom scolds me so much right now because he prays 5 times a day and I don't. I just don't care. And he became more religious than I am. It's unfair. There you go. That's what happens. It's a beautiful family. The uncle in here is Chindian, so meaning half Chinese, half Indian. And the auntie here is half Malay, half Thai. So there are 4 mixes in here. So the children is completely mixed. And you know what they told me when I was talking to them? They said, you know, because we come from all these different cultures, you know, we don't choose only one culture to follow. So when it comes to festivals, we celebrate everything. We celebrate Christmas, we build the Christmas tree, we put the presents under the Christmas tree for our children to find, and we celebrate Deepavali. When my dad's side comes in, then there's a Chinese New Year, so all my mom's part comes into the house, and there's a Hari Raya, again we have an open house, and it's their house is like truly one beautiful Malaysia in there. And I would like to add these stories of people with the Jennifer Thompson. She's half Irish, half Malaysian. She said, when we spoke about all of this, the project, what is it like to be mixed, she said, you know, I raised my children not to see the race. I don't want my children to put our friends in the boxes because we are all one beautiful Malaysia. So, with all these people, interviewing them and talking to them, I understood one thing that, besides many other things, that yes, there might be a fear when you assimilate with a different culture, a fear of losing your own culture, losing your identity. But I think if we will follow this mindset, we will still live in the caves, you know? Like we'll be afraid to go out and meet new people, to get new traditions, to get to know new cultures, to learn new languages. So I don't think that sentiments and insecurities can power the progress. If we really want to go forward, we should embrace the different truths and we should be open towards people who are different than us. So what's next? So this project goes on and on and on. I photograph people as long as I need them, but I thought, okay, time to do SameSame Part 2 and upgrade it a little bit. And after a little bit of thinking, I came up with this idea and I want to do the Portrait of Malaysia project. Portrait of Malaysia is a photo booth. It's a simple photo booth, I'll show you the mock-up later, where people can come and take their portrait one by one, the headshot. Okay, so let's say if all of you will come, you'll have to stand in a line and take a photo one by one by one. And when you finish doing that, there is this magic button. When we click, it merges all your faces into one face. And it becomes the portrait of CreativeMornings KL, the portrait of front row, the portrait of left side of the row, the portrait of your family, the portrait of your colleagues. So this is how it looks like when you merge Indian and Chinese. Okay, this is how the booth looks like. It's still being built right now. And this booth will be traveling through Malaysia. It will start its journey in the Georgetown Festival, Penang, which will happen in the month of August. It's going to be running there. And then my another idea, fingers crossed, if it will work, I want to build a truck. The truck that can travel through Malaysia, and then we can go to different places and do the portrait of Ipoh, the portrait of Kuantan, portrait of Johor Bahru. So we just take the portraits of the people, merge them into one, And then at the end of this journey, so let's say at the end of the Penang Festival, I will merge hundreds of these faces into one portrait that will represent all the races, all the ages, all the religions, all the people in one single portrait. So that's the idea. So yeah, we came to an end of my talk, and I want to end it with this, that I do believe that, like Elizabeth, like Tan Hon Ming, like the dinosaur boys, that love is blind, our children are blind, and we should also stay that way. And that love in Malaysia especially comes in many flavors. And I would like to leave you with this movie. It's a short 1-minute movie that is called Love Has No Labels. It has been done in the United States for Valentine's Day. Enjoy.
We are neighbors and best friends.
We all have different religions, but we have universal love as well.
I love my sister.
Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
Thank you. So you can follow more of my work on SameSame project and more of my photography team on All Is Amazing, where we do nightlife photography. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you everyone for coming.
Does anyone have questions? No, seriously, if you want to ask Paulius about his his work or his projects, that's a good chance. But we also stick around so you can also ask afterwards. So that's just the opportunity for everyone who like feel like asking right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think we'll need to share the mic, so I'll give it to her first.
Hi, it's always interesting to see how a foreigner describe our own country sometimes better or sometimes more vividly than ourselves. So, but one thing that does intrigue me when I see your merging photos is I can't help notice, but the end product is a male instead of a female. So that was something that I am curious about after merging the race, the gender. So, and also because you say that you're going to have a tour around Malaysia with your truck, so you probably go to the East Coast and all. So, will the end result be with a lady with a tudung but sort of look Malay or something else? Or so that immediately comes into my mind. I guess because as a Malaysian growing up in Malaysia, already having some filters in my head, so that immediately is what I would imagine with the end product. So that it's not like a question, but
Thank you so much. No, okay, to start with why that project looked more male than female is because it was just 10 portraits and I'm planning to merge hundreds of portraits, so I really don't know how it looks like. If you want to be pro-female or pro-male, you can invite all your female friends or all your male friends to go to the booth and outweigh the look of the portrait. If you want it to look more Indian, so come on, all Indians come in there and we're going to make it look Indian. If you want to make it look more Chinese, so all Chinese come. If you want to look more Tudong, all the Tudong girls come in. And it's going to look different. I really don't know how the outcome will be. It depends on the people who participate. It's completely up to algorithm because every portrait will have exactly the same amount of exposure, so it will not be prioritized in any way. It's basically the more people of whatever ethnicity will come, it will look that way. Maybe yes, maybe no. It depends how active people are in this project. And that's it. So I really can't determine how it will look like at the end, and it will be really, really interesting to see, so we can follow it more on like same website, SameSame.my, and I'll be posting weekly updates there. So like over the week, what happens there, you can see how the portrait changes through the time. Yeah.
I do have a question. Where can we get ourselves photographed for the first time? Where is it going to be open for the first time?
It's going to be in Georgetown, Penang, starting on the 30th of July. And location also is still not clear, but it's going to be updated on the website. So it might be like in a Hinbas depot or like in some cafes like China House or something where more people come in and they'll be exposed to it.
Okay, so we're all going to Penang, I feel like, right? But it's going to be back here as well, right? Okay, I saw somewhere someone else had a question. Got a question? Nope. Okay. Why don't you come here? Okay. Sorry to bring you to the stage, but why not?
So, yeah. Oh, I can take it. So, anyway, so you've seen all these people of different races and different backgrounds coming together and they experience this thing called love, right? So after seeing all these people, do you believe that love is an unconditional thing?
Yeah, I do believe. I do believe that love is an unconditional thing because you can't program yourself to love one person or another. Why you fall in love with a girl who has a long hair instead of short hair? Do you know the answer? I guess no. Why do you fall in love with someone who might look different than you? Maybe you're curious about it, or maybe it's just naturally something inside you. You know, why mother loves their child the way she loves it. You know, love is, I think, the natural form of protection in nature. We protect those whom we love, you know, so we feel attached to them in order to make them feel safe. And it's translated into the feeling love. So it's just a pure care unconditionally.
Any last question? Oh yeah, you do. Okay. Yeah, do come.
So, Paulius, I've heard you speak a couple times, And a lot of times people's art is born out of their own passion, so I wanted to ask you, how come I've never heard your story spoken? Your personal.
Sorry. No, I don't think the project should be personalized. I do believe that this project that I'm doing is for people of Malaysia, it's not for me, and there is nothing to advertise about myself. And I just want to give it away as a gift of thanks to the country that made me feel home more than any other country except my own. Where I lived in the world, I lived in China, I lived in Indonesia, I lived in Holland, and now I live in Malaysia, and I feel most home here. And I think the reason for that is because of the diversity. I want to believe that I'm not being seen as a different alien, I'm just being seen as one of many. So like you have a different range of races living in here, so I'm just one of those many. And for this hospitality that people gave me in this country here, I want to thank them with showing them the best side of what they have. And sometimes we might forget that it exists because we live here for so long. So as your question was there, like sometimes foreigners show us a different side of our country. So I didn't create that side. That side exists here. What I did, I just took it and put it out there with the skills I have, which is a photography, storytelling. You know, it's nothing that I force people to go into those couples. It's a natural, beautiful process that happens in this beautiful country. And I just want to put it out there and remind the people that, okay, you're a really cool country. Don't forget that.
Thank you one more time. Thanks for taking time to come here. Thanks for taking time to share with us.